you maneuvered was on some that I can't with. And that's why I won't talk to you. That's why I hadn't talked to you. I'll be the first to say, like, I wish I would have never did that.
After days of haunting silence, Rasheeda finally stepped out of the shadows and gave the world what it had been anxiously waiting for, the raw, unfiltered truth. And what she shared wasn't just shocking, it was seismic. In an emotionally charged, exclusive sit-down interview, she revealed the chilling details of an alleged assault carried out by Mendeecees, a man she once called a friend. A man once celebrated by the very culture now rocked by her revelations. With trembling hands and tears streaming down her face, Rasheeda laid bare the nightmare she had endured, one steeped in betrayal, manipulation, and a suffocating silence that had nearly destroyed her. Fear had become her shadow. Every knock at the door, every unknown number on her phone, sent her heart racing. She wasn't just surviving, she was hiding in plain sight, and those she once called allies? They vanished. Friends, colleagues, even some within her own circle. Silent, distant. Producers she had helped build empires with allegedly urged her to stay quiet, terrified that the truth might tarnish their brands. But what they didn't realize was that Rasheeda had found a greater purpose, her child. It was a single question from her child, innocent yet piercing, that became her moral compass. Mom, why do people stay quiet when something bad happens? That was it. Despite her legal team's warnings that going public could destroy her career, Rasheeda made a choice. She wasn't just speaking for herself, she was speaking for every woman ever silenced by fear, control, or misplaced loyalty. But the moment she broke her silence, the retaliation began. Her inbox flooded with threatening emails. Anonymous calls warned her to stay in her lane or suffer the consequences. Still, she didn't flinch. She didn't run. Instead, her determination hardened like steel, the heartbreak only deepened. When she learned that some of her closest confidants were allegedly defending Mendeecees in secret, speaking out for him, yet staying eerily quiet about her pain, the betrayal was brutal. Even within her own family, the tension thickened. While Kirk stood unwaveringly by her side, others begged her to drop it, for the sake of peace. But Rasheeda knew, peace without justice is just silence in disguise. Late one night, she gathered a small group of trusted friends, people who had witnessed parts of the altercation. Some were still too afraid to come forward. But others, brave and loyal, stood with her. And then, everything changed. An anonymous message hit her inbox. A video file. She hesitated, then clicked play. The footage was grainy, but unmistakable. It showed Mendeecees, furious, aggressive, screaming threats, lunging at her. It wasn't the whole story, but it was proof. Tangible, undeniable. Her lawyers advised caution. If the footage went public, it could open a legal storm. But for Rasheeda, keeping it hidden felt like betrayal all over again. Then came another blow. An audio recording surfaced. Mendeecees, during a heated exchange with a colleague, could be heard admitting to part of the incident. That's when everything started shifting. Public support surged. People began paying attention. But so did the pressure. Witnesses started backing out. The fear campaign was working. Rasheeda found herself alone, again, and at home, the emotional toll began to take its toll on her marriage. One night, she and Kirk had a heated argument over the evidence. "Kirk, I can't live like this. I can't keep pretending," she cried, her voice breaking. Desperate for space, she retreated to a secluded cabin, searching for clarity, and it was in that silence that Rasheeda made her boldest move yet. In a live televised interview, she announced a second lawsuit, citing defamation, emotional trauma, and obstruction of justice. The industry froze. Mendeecees, allegedly blindsided, was said to have erupted in fury, vowing to retaliate. The threats escalated. Rasheeda tightened her security. Her peaceful home now felt like a guarded fortress. But even in the midst of chaos, she held her head high. Her bravery sparked a movement. Women from all corners of the industry began coming forward, voices rising from the ashes of silence. They had been waiting for someone like Rasheeda. She became a symbol. A firestarter. A woman who refused to be erased. As the trial neared, she buried herself in preparation. Therapy. Legal meetings. Testimony rehearsals. Every word, every memory, every scar was reviewed. When the day came, she walked into the courtroom not as a victim, but as a warrior. The cameras were ruthless. The media swarmed. But Rasheeda didn't blink. The prosecution painted a vivid picture. Experts testified to her trauma. Footage, messages, and audio evidence left the courtroom stunned. And then, Rasheeda took the stand. Her voice didn't shake. It didn't tremble. It resonated. She spoke of trust broken, fear lived, and the loneliness of standing up against powerful silence. The defense tried everything, digging into her past, twisting her motives, spinning false narratives. But she held firm. She was done being silenced. Outside, the world watched. Support flooded social media. Hashtags in her name trended globally. Even celebrities who had once remained neutral broke their silence and rallied behind her, and when Mendeecees took the stand, his tears meant nothing. His apology fell flat. The jury wasn't swayed guilty. On all counts, the courtroom exploded. Rasheeda wept into Kirk's arms, not just from relief, but from release. It wasn't just a legal victory. It was a spiritual one. And when she stood outside the courthouse, a sea of flashing cameras and waiting microphones before her, she spoke directly to the world, "You are not alone. And you never will be again." In the months that followed, Rasheeda stepped out of the limelight to heal. She poured her soul into rebuilding her family, her peace, her purpose. She launched a foundation to support other survivors. She embraced the scars she once tried to hide. She had been broken, but she rose.